Hey YouTube, I'm Amanda, and I am going to show you a short little video on a guide to achieving platinum blonde hair. Now, as you can see in the little bubble, I say please remember this is a guide, not a this is how you should. I am not a professional. This is how I do my hair, and hopefully it will help somebody else. Now, there's a list on what you're going to need that we should all need when dyeing our hair. First, you're going to need a good quality bleach and toner. Now, you can sit there and say, oh, professional products are completely the best and stuff like that. That's not true. Because if you've ever been to a salon and you've heard stories of, girls having platinum blonde hair, you will hear about some stylists pretty much frying the hair. And that's mainly because they don't know what they're doing. You can still get affordable products and be able to have really healthy hair. So, number two, a level of developer that works for your hair that you are comfortable with. Just because somebody is using 40 volume developer with bleach does not mean that you should too. You've got to work with your own hair, the type of hair that you have, whether it's been dyed constantly, how strong it is, and stuff like that. You really want your hair to be healthy and stuff. You don't want to bleach your hair and completely have it destroyed. And volumes with bleach, really, the 10 volume doesn't really do anything. Some people use it for more of a gentle lift when they do like a bleach bath. Um, you do have 20 volume, 30 volume, and 40 volume. Now, a lot of people aren't very comfortable with using 40 volume, so they will turn around and use 20 or 30. The thing about 40 volume is it is a harsh of a lift, but if you know what you're doing and you know how strong your hair is and how much it can take, then you will be fine. If you're not comfortable with 40 volume, you should definitely look into 20 or 30 volume. You are going to need for number three a tinting brush, a bowl, and gloves. Those are very important. You need to mix the bleach together, obviously, and you need a tinting brush to apply to your hair. And of course, you're going to need gloves because you really don't want to get bleach on your hands. That is not good whatsoever unless you really want to bleach your skin. Even though it's not permanent, at least in my experiences, it was never permanent for more than like a couple of hours. But it really does hurt, especially when using 40 volume. It really does hurt. Number four, you're going to need a protein treatment, a deep conditioner, or an oil treatment, like hot oil treatments and stuff. Really, it's your choice. I mean, you got to remember, you're bleaching out all the good things in your hair. And hopefully, you do sit there and do something to put everything back in your hair and at least try to keep it healthy and strong. Um, some people don't really like oil treatments because of the fact that they don't like their hair oily. Um, and same thing with deep conditioners. Some people, even though you bleach your hair and it can get very, very dry and brittle and stuff, some people, their hair gets really oily very quickly, even though it could be dry because you just bleached it. So if you know it works for your hair, please, by all means, make sure you keep your hair healthy. And number five, an old t-shirt or a towel. Major, major step right there also. You do not want to sit there and ruin your clothes, especially if you're like me. I wear a lot of black clothes, so you getting bleach on that is not really a good thing to have, especially if you wear like a favorite shirt at like nighttime or something. What you see right here is the PrismLites Violet Base Bleach. It is a dust-free tonal lightener. Now, what that means is that when you pour it in, you shouldn't get a lot of powdery fly up for the dust-free part. Now, for the tonal lightener, that means that since it is a violet base, it will help neutralize yellow tones in the hair, which will cause it to be more of the white blonde color once you reach the pale blonde stage. Now, with bleaching, you do not, I cannot stress this enough. I don't know why people tend to do this. It is so, so bad for your hair. You do not want to bleach your hair white because once you bleach your hair white, it is pretty much game over for your hair. Um, your hair will be so brittle and so dry, and you're lucky if it doesn't become very spongy when wet, or basically break off like melted plastic is what it looks like when it's being pulled apart, and it's like chewing gum, and you don't want that whatsoever. It says it lightens up to about 4 levels. Me personally, I can get to a pale blonde, which is like a pale lemon color. Now, one thing, my hair is naturally dark brown, almost black. I use 40 volume. Majority of the time, I can get away with bleaching my hair one time and get to the pale blonde stage before I have to tone it. Um, Sometimes it can take 2 bleaches. Uh, when it takes 2 bleaches, I use 20 volume. I never ever leave the bleach on for more than 45 minutes. Rarely do I leave it on for 45 minutes with 40 volume. The most I will go with 40 volume is 30 minutes. And the reason being is because I don't want to damage my hair. It's already bad enough you're bleaching your hair, causing it to decolorize and stuff like that. So you do not want to leave 40 volume on your hair no longer than 30 minutes, really. Even though they say like 45 minutes and some brands say 60 minutes, I don't trust that whatsoever. It's my hair. I want it healthy. I'd rather just do a second bleaching of 20 volume to get it to that level. But if you sit there and use 20 volume for dark brown hair, depending on how your hair is, it you could leave it on for about 45 minutes. Um, Normally, if you just bleached it, you probably shouldn't have to leave it on that long, but everybody's hair is different. So please, if you do use 40 volume, do not leave it on for more than 30 minutes at a time, really. You definitely do not want to fry your hair, and definitely keep check on it. Like, wait about 10 minutes after you apply it and check it for the lightness, because you don't want to bleach your hair white. That is the complete worst thing you can do. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, but this bleach comes in a blue base, and some people like the yellowness in platinum blonde hair. Um, I personally don't really mind it too much as long as there's more white blonde than the yellow blonde. But yes, now the next thing that you will be seeing after this will be the, excuse me, the developers. Right here you see 40 volume, 30 volume, 20 volume, and 10 volume. Like, for people who are afraid of 40 volume, I do tell them, like, use 30 volume at the most if that's what you're comfortable with. You always want to start with either 30 or 40 and then work your way down. You don't want to constantly do like 30 and 30, 40 and 40 and stuff like that. It's just going to destroy your hair, really. Now, the next thing you see is Aphogee's 2-step protein treatment. I love this. I think it's a godsend. It is basically the first part is protein, and the second part is the balancing moisturizer and everything. Now, the nifty thing about Aphogee's 2-step protein treatment is it comes in the double packet, as you see right here, that has the protein treatment on top and the balancing moisturizer on the bottom. Comes in a 4 ounce, and it also comes in a 16 ounce. Now, I love this stuff completely. I cannot rave more about it. It's just when you put it on, you put it on. I always do it right after I bleach my hair, no matter if I have to re-bleach, my roots, or if I'm about to tone it. I use it, and you pin in your hair. You swish it all around, make sure it's all saturated, and then you take a blow dryer, a heat cap, whatever you need to dry it. Now, it will make your hair super, super hard, like you have a helmet on. And that's a good thing because that means that it's all being absorbed in your hair. And I usually, after it's dried on my hair with the blow dryer, because I never let the blow dryer off, like the directions say, I blow dry it until it's completely hard on my head, and then I let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then I go wash it out. Now, I don't have the little packet, I have the 16-ounce one. So I just use a regular conditioner afterwards, after I wash out the protein, because when you put your hair back in water and you wash it out and everything, it's kind of like hair gel. You don't have to really shampoo your hair. Once it gets wet again, it will wash all out. Then you use conditioner and you're good to go. And I do definitely recommend that to people like crazy, because it will take super damaged hair and it will stop your hair from breaking. It will keep it from feeling spongy when it's wet. It's a really good protein treatment. It's very, very strong. You only need to use it once every 3 months, maybe. So it's really, really good. And it's really good for people that have relaxers or use a lot of heat styles. So I definitely recommend that to people. Now, the next thing you will see is the Agebeautiful HLA toner. Basically, it is a ash blonde. I've used this brand. I definitely love it. It does get your hair really, really like a very nice, super pale blonde, like Gwen Stefani, Christina Aguilera. You know, that blonde that all platinum blondes love without your hair being too ashy and stuff like that, because this toner is, I believe, a 1 to 2 ratio, which means 1 part color, 2 parts developer. Now, me personally, I always like to keep the ratio 1 to 1. I feel that the 1 to 2 ratio is a little bit too strong on my hair, and that's just my personal preference. Everybody's hair is different. You know, the thing about hair colors, you gotta experiment to find what works for you. It's just because I'm explaining this does not mean this might necessarily work for you. This is just what works for me and my hair. So if it helps you, then by all means, I'm glad that I could help you. But if it doesn't, keep trying. You know, you have to experiment. That is definitely the thing with hair color. But this is definitely a good toner. It will turn your hair white. Don't be surprised when the toner is on your hair and it's turning gray and stuff like that. That's just the ash part that's in it. Your hair should not turn gray. Which is another thing. Your hair, when it's wet, will be darker than when it's dry. A lot of people tend to forget that. So please do not forget that. That your hair will be darker when it's wet, not when it's dry. But that is a really good toner. The next picture you will see is of me, and this is my hair. It is a white blonde, like Gwen Stefani, Christina Aguilera, but as you can see, my hair is really, really light blonde and everything. One thing that I do not understand about people is I've noticed that they sit there and do not follow directions. There's directions on packages for a reason, and a lot of people tend to forget that. You do not want to eyeball your mixture, as they say, by, pouring 1 ounce of bleach, like the powdered bleach, into the bowl and then just constantly pouring developer until you get a good consistency. You don't want to do that because too little or too much developer can dry your hair out, or your hair may not lift to the right color. So please, please, please follow directions, and hopefully this video has helped somebody in their quest, I guess you could say, to platinum blonde hair. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you guys.